Well, you have heard about thrilling roller coasters, but what about the ones that leave you sore, dazzled, and questioning your life choices? Today on OBcoasters, we're counting down the 15 most painful roller coasters on the planet, ranked by actual riders and fans, but most importantly, pure bruises. From spine-shaking wooden coasters to head-banging steel nightmares, there are really many roller coasters you won't want to experience in real life, so let's get into it, and trust me, it's going to hurt. Now, coming in at spot number 15, we got Great American Scream Machine with a pain level of 6.5 out of 10. This classic out and back wooden coaster has its fans, but age hasn't been kind to it. Once a staple of airtime and thrills, today's rides feature hard slaps and bumpy turns that leave many screaming for mercy. So it is really a well-fitting name for this wooden coaster, but it is not because of the thrills they are screaming though. Now, coming in at spot number 14, we got Mind Blower with a pain level of 7 out of 10. And a part of all the flaws this roller coaster got, you got an awesome inversion and many airtime moments. Mind Blower really packs a punch in a small place, literally. Well, many riders actually report extreme and awesome airtime mixed with abrupt lateral forces. It's a wild ride, but maybe a little too wild for some people out there. Well, you see, between those great coaster moments, you got a very rough and shaky wooden coaster. You will certainly get a headache after riding this coaster. Just give me a moment to catch my breath real quick. The next coaster on the list is actually Guru Durix with a pain level of 7.5 out of 10, and well, 7 inversions and everyone hurts. Guru Durix has been retracked multiple times, but still can't shake the reputation as a headbanger. If vertical loops, sidewinders and corkscrews could punch you in the jaw, this is how they would do it. But I personally think that many people are saying that this one is way rougher than it really is. Well, your neck is only going to snap on those transitions, so don't worry, everything will be alright. And next up, we got the classic corkscrew at Cedar Point with a pain level of 8 out of 10. This very small and very old looping coaster is historic but hurtful. Arrow's corkscrew at Cedar Point is not so fun, and well, also a slow coaster, but every second just hurts against your skull. That classic corkscrew element comes with an uninvited whiplash and ear pain, but what do you really expect from a looping coaster from the 70s? And coming in as the next roller coaster, we got X2 with a pain level of 8 out of 10. Now please listen up before the X2 fans goes ham in the comments. Front row is awesome. Back row, well, get ready for chaos. X2's rotating seats can be exhilarating or painful, shaky and brutal. Now the back row ride experience on X2 amplifies every whip, twist and slam. You will either love it or hate it, and perhaps you need a neck brace. So prepare for breakneck speeds, G-forces and well, shaky roughness. And now the next roller coaster is Hollywood Rip Ride Rockit with a pain level of 8.5 out of 10. Now listen up, sometimes this coaster is just okay and other times it's horrible, and well, on paper it seems okay and alright. Cool concept, custom music, but a painful ride experience most of the times. Rip Ride Rockit looks great until you ride it. Get ready for bizarre layout, weird transitions and awkward mid-course breaks, and stiff restraint systems that leave riders aching more than rocking. And I'm glad this coaster will be closing soon, wink wink. And next up we got the defunct coaster Flashback at Magic Mountain, and this one had a pain level of 8.5 out of 10. Well, Flashback was an intimate hairpin coaster that just never worked. It was so jerky and loud that people in the nearby water park complained of the constant headaches. Then finally Six Flags gave it the boot and no one protested. Just take a look at those weird transitions, small drops, it looks like a B&M coaster on crack. Coming in as the next roller coaster, we got Time Warp with a pain level of 9 out of 10. This horrible coaster features this awkward flying position in cage-like trains, and you also got some very harsh corners. Just imagine flying face down through a cage, slamming into corners and unable to move. Sounds like a nightmare. Well, that's just Time Warp. And this Zamperla flying coaster is one of the most awkward, painful ride layouts in North America, and it it's shockingly still operating. Please someone get rid of this ride forever. Oh, the next roller coaster on the list is Condor with a pain level of 9 out of 10. Now Condor is your typical SLC, but most importantly the original SLC, which means pain comes as a standard. Though it recently got new trains, it's still janky and jerky in all the wrong places. Riders often complain about earboxing and neck strain, not ideal for a thrill coaster. The transitions on this first SLC ride are so horrible, so they made another 40 of them. Great. Now it's getting quite serious. Coming in as the next coaster, we got Bandit with a pain level of 9.5 out of 10. And wooden roller coasters can be fun or pure punishment. Bandit falls in the latter category. This RCCA coaster is one of the roughest in Europe, leaving riders sore and stunned. They should hand out an ibuprofen at the exit. There is really nothing great or redeeming about this wooden coaster, just pure nightmare fuel. Coming in as the next roller coaster, we got Desperado with a pain level of 9.5 out of 10. Well, this ride really looks epic in the Nevada desert, but this aero hyper coaster is like riding a roller coaster built by a jackhammer crew. Awful transitions, rough track and painful restraint jolts make it one of the most uncomfortable hypers ever built. I don't really know why this coaster is so rough, perhaps poor maintenance or whatever. The coaster is just standing there. But next up is Mean Streak with a pain level of 9.9 out of 10. Unfortunately, before Steel Vengeance rose from its ashes, Mean Streak was one of the most feared woodies in the world, massive in size but with no grace. It jackhammered, jolted and tossed riders like ragdolls. Then RMC gave it a second life, but we'll never forget the pain of the original. This wooden coaster was just so mean in the worst way possible. If you know, you know. Now just cracking the top 3 spot, we got Coaster Express with a pain level of 10 out of 10. Now this one looks like a classic wooden coaster, but it feels like you're in a car crash for over 2 minutes, and well, that will be the longest 2 minutes of your life. Coaster Express is infamous for its punishing track design and jackhammering trains. Enthusiasts describe it as a test of endurance and not in a good way. And the Parque also knows it funny enough, but please just RMC this coaster. And just cracking the second place, we got Green Lantern First Flight with a pain level of 10 out of 10. Now this intimate sack spin was short-lived and not missed. Riders were flipped unpredictably, often violently, with sudden weight shifts slamming them into the hard restraints. The ride became so unpopular, Six Flags quietly removed it. This sack spin coaster is just proof that not every thrill is worth the headache. Many also say that this might have been the most painful roller coaster ever. But silence. The most painful roller coaster in the whole world was Son of Beast with a pain level of 11 out of 10. The first and last wooden coaster with a vertical loop. Son of Beast was just a monster in every way. It opened in 2000. It was notorious for violent vibrations, horrible roughness and bad track work that injured riders multiple times. And after lawsuits, multiple closures and endless complaints, it was finally demolished. Painful. Well, let's just say this ride was literally shut down for safety. This huge coaster was no joke. It sent many people to the hospital, so we're glad this ride is gone. There you have it, 15 of the most painful coasters ever built. Some are gone, some still haunt us, and others are waiting for you to test your limits. Did we miss a backbreaking favorite? Please let me know in the comments. And hit that like button if your spine is still intact, and don't forget to subscribe for more theme park and roller coaster content on the channel. Then at the end of the day, I'm always gonna say bye bye.